on the long end, the JGB yields are a lot higher than where they were last summer. Do you keep the possibility of yet another episode of around a carry trade unwind as a possibility?
Well, the JGB curve is definitely steep. If you look at 1030s across, in the US, in Europe, well, we're hovering around 50, 60, right? And Japan 1030s, we're looking at 150, 200 kind of range. The steepness is in Japan is in our mind quite a lot of fiscal premium is baked in. Right, that there's a lot of concerns, and it's partly right because we're getting a lot of noise in the domestic politics. You're kind of seeing the news around Ishiba reportedly having to step down. In our mind, the upper house election, the way the market was thinking about it seems a bit overrated. Right, the fiscal was always there. The question was whether a permanent sort of tax cuts versus a more less permanent handouts could be priced in. We got away from the worst point, which is why the JGB curve stabilized a little bit. But we're not at the end of it, right? And also BOJ coming up this month, it's in a very different place from the Fed. Yeah. For the BOJ, we're talking about a growth that's kind of nascent coming up, but they're much more worried about what high domestic push inflation could mean for growth and consumption as a whole, which is why they're going to be more active. The starting point is much lower in rates. They want to be more active to quell the inflation, and that in itself could kind of push rates higher overall as a whole.
Yeah, so a lot to unpack there about BOJ and what's going on in Japan, but basically, you don't see the BOJ moving anytime this year, but the language could be hawkish because of the inflation that they need to think about.
Absolutely. The risk, the skew is definitely on hawkish and upside. They will try to buy themselves more time. Certainly what happened between US and Japan has been a big upside, right? You kind of get the deal done. It's 15%, not 10%, but still they kind of got that deal done. So it's taking away uncertainty for BOJ to think about risk. There's still very much ahead lies the domestic politics. But in essence, the key for BOJ is really about domestic push inflation. They need to make sure that they are comfortable around what it means for inflation and impact into growth so that they can plan out in the medium term. In our minds, the first hike still very much is in next year. October is getting increasingly priced in. We're watching out for it, but the base case is still if they can buy some time and see how things fold out because of tariffs setting into the numbers in second half. That's what all central banks, I think, will be looking out for.